My daughter's gaze was fixed on a mother and child pair that I found difficult to deal with.
Ava, we're going out for lunch, aren't we? Let's go quickly.
Even when I tried to pull her hand, my daughter ran toward her friend. I didn't want to see that family again. They're always so critical. I gave my husband a look and shrugged my shoulders.
Oh, is that you, Natalie? Out with the family.
After scrutinizing my husband from head to toe, she turned to me and said,
My husband's a top executive. He's always busy. This week he's on a business trip overseas. Compared to that, your husband gets to have fun during the weekdays. Must be nice to have such a carefree life.
She talked down to us without listening to what we had to say.
Oh, is that Mr. Jackson? He works for our company.
As she listened to my husband's name, her expression changed rapidly. My name is Natalie. I'm a 35-year-old part-time housewife. I lead a peaceful and enjoyable life with my husband Tom and our 7-year-old daughter. I met my husband after graduating high school while working as an office clerk at a logistics company. I fell for him at first sight when he was hired as a truck driver in the spring of our 10th year. I was drawn to his looks, but it was his well-defined biceps that really caught my eye. I know it sounds cliche, but that's the truth. I clearly remember the day my husband asked the boss to stop doing long hauls for a while because he was considering marriage. It was only a month into our relationship when he mentioned marriage. I was shocked and let out a surprised gasp, but there was no reason to say no. I replied, "Please," and applause broke out. Everyone at the company celebrated our engagement. Our daughter, born the following year, is now in first grade.
Soon, I'll be a big sister. Will it be a brother or a sister? I'm excited.
As I rubbed my belly, my daughter Ava asked with a big smile, "Which one do you think it will be? What would you like better, a brother or a sister?"
Well, I'm not sure. I want both a brother and a sister.
I hugged my greedy daughter, who wanted both and felt happy. I also have my own reasons. 2 years ago, I couldn't carry the pregnancy to term. The doctors said early miscarriage was no one's fault, but I was to blame for not taking it easy. Maybe it was my fault for working too hard while my daughter was at preschool. I was doing light work in the warehouse, sorting and preparing deliveries, and thought it was safe, but carrying heavy packages might have been a burden. Thinking about it still tightens my chest. "Ava, we have school tomorrow, so let's go to sleep."
"I'm waiting for Daddy to come home."
It's understandable that my daughter is being stubborn. She hasn't seen her beloved father in 3 days. My husband's return time varies, but for the past week he's been coming home after our daughter's bedtime. He must miss her too. Anyway, even though my husband is busy, he takes pride in his work, so I couldn't be too forceful. If the big sister doesn't go to sleep, the baby won't sleep either.
Okay, I'll go to bed now. Good night.
I thought it was a bit forceful, but it was already past 9. Putting my daughter to bed was challenging, but seeing her cute sleeping face made it all worth it. After confirming that Ava was asleep, I went from the kids' room to the living room. "Oh, you're home." I must have dozed off with my daughter for a bit, as my husband was already home. "I'm home. I came in quietly because I thought Ava was already asleep. You could also rest first." "Thank you. My husband has been so kind during my pregnancy." I warmed up the dinner curry with gratitude. "By the way, does Ava go to the same elementary school as Emily?" "Yes, next classroom though." I paused, stirring the hot pot when my husband asked a sudden question. There was no fault on the kid's part, but hearing that name made my chest stir. "Why are you asking that?" "Well, nothing particular. Natalia, can't you forget about that?" How could I forget? The unpleasant memory from 2 years ago resurfaced, and I became agitated. Emily, the closest friend of Ava in preschool? Unlike the intense Ava, Emily was sociable and caring, almost like a sibling. They were very close. But just because the kids are close doesn't mean the parents get along.
Natalia, are you off from work today?
Yes, I am.
I was wondering if you could watch Emily after preschool. I need to make appointments for a hair salon and nail salon. Sorry to ask on your day off, but can you do that for me? Oh, and please make sure to give Emily homemade snacks. I sighed, realizing she asked about my next day off just for this reason. The kids get along, so it can't be helped, but taking care of Emily means extra cleaning and preparing homemade snacks. If you don't want your child to eat store-bought snacks, you should make and bring them yourself. I thought that in my mind, but I couldn't say it out loud. Whenever I ask her for something, she gets in a bad mood. I tolerated it for my daughter, but she, Emily's mom, didn't seem to care about others' feelings. I'm sorry about the baby. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. She approached me with a falsely kind demeanor, while I was physically and emotionally drained. I didn't want to make a big deal, so I had only told Emily's mom about it. I couldn't believe she mentioned it in front of so many other moms. I still regret asking her to watch my daughter for just one day when my husband was away, and I had no one else to rely on. I heard whispers about me like, she's putting her child in private preschool despite financial struggles, hiding the fact that she works part-time. They said things like, it's awful that she lost the baby even though she was so fortunate to have gotten pregnant. Hearing such harsh gossip from Emily's mom's clique hurt me deeply. I started keeping my distance from her after that. But during spring break, when Ava was excited about starting school in April, I got a sudden call from her. Natalia, it's the weekend. Emily wants to visit Ava's house. Can I come along too? Sorry, I'm busy, and my part-time job is off on weekends, you know. Oh, but Ava and Emily go to the same elementary school, right? Why are you asking that? I heard from Karen that Ava still doesn't have a study desk. I struggled to reply, unable to say the truth. We were planning to move to a new apartment when Ava started elementary school. I didn't want her to know the new address. The study desk was already in the new kids' room. I planned to surprise Ava with it. Thanks for your concern. Is that all you wanted to ask? No, there's more. What brand of backpack did you choose? If you're asking about the color, that's one thing. But why does the brand matter? She's been picky since preschool. Emily's mom always dressed her in brand name clothes. If Ava wants to be friends with Emily, she has to have brand clothes. Otherwise, she'll make a fuss. I'm thinking of checking it out this weekend. If her things are not matching with Emily's, I'd like to stop the friendship. I was left speechless. I sighed and pulled away from the phone. Natalia, I heard you're expecting a baby soon. If you're struggling financially, I could lend you the money for a study desk. I was fed up with her voice coming through the receiver. I turned off the call button, feeling disgusted. On the day of Ava's elementary school entrance ceremony, she happily wore the purple backpack she had chosen herself. With the new home settled and awaiting the baby's arrival, I was filled with joy and nervousness for the new chapter. Yes, it's sad to be separated from Emily, but I hope I make new friends. Yeah, I hope you can make new friends. I felt relieved that Ava was in a different class from Emily. I secretly wished for new friends with similar values. By the way, did you end up buying a study desk for Ava? Yes, I did. I was interrupted by Emily's mom, who greeted me. I gave a brief nod and left the place. I hoped a healthy baby would be born soon. But hearing Emily's mom's loud laughter made me anxious. I had to leave before my emotions took over. It was suffocating and painful as I entered the classroom with Ava. I decided I couldn't keep tolerating people I didn't want to be around. I needed to be strong for my beloved daughter and the baby to come. Ava, are you ready? Since Daddy is off today, he'll drop you off. Yay, I'll get changed right away. Ava was thrilled and started preparing for her swimming lessons. I had enrolled her in swimming once a week, partly as an excuse to avoid hosting Emily at home, though it was my own selfish reasoning. I was relieved Ava enjoyed swimming. I felt a pang of guilt when my husband mentioned it, but I was glad Ava liked it. I want to have dinner with Mommy and Daddy after swimming. Sure. My husband looked pleased as well. He'll help with the drop-offs and pickups while I'm preparing for the baby. It'll be nice to have a family dinner together for the first time in a while. We hadn't done this for a while. I'm grateful to my supportive husband as I got in the back seat. Little did I know I would meet someone who would spoil this tranquil happiness. Oh, it's Emily. She's in the parking lot of the swimming pool facility. I knew she was supposed to come on weekends, but I hadn't seen her until now.
We're going for dinner, right? Let's go. My daughter ran towards her friend despite my attempt to pull her back. I didn't want to meet that family again. I expected more unpleasant remarks.
Oh, isn't that Natalia? Out for a family outing? Your husband looks like a typical businessman. Mine is always busy and out of town this week, unlike your husband, who seems to enjoy his free time. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were at the same swimming school. It seems you have the means to afford extracurriculars.
We ignored her, though she seemed to have no sense of the atmosphere. She continued talking about her husband's business trip to France and their plans for summer vacation. Huh. Where's the humor in that? I guess he doesn't know much about her character. I decided to keep ignoring her. My husband was laughing, but I found it annoying.
Natalia's husband, why are you laughing? Well, it's okay. I found something nice.
Well, it can be something nasty.
Do you have a job that allows him to take weekdays off?
Yes, well, I can take time off if needed. I'm a truck driver, so I have some flexibility.
Well, I see. You look too casual.
Sarah said so, showing that she didn't like it. It would be weird to wear a suit for watching a swimming lesson. Emily is also here. She's dressed like she's going for a piano recital. It seems out of place here. Let us go now. I thought my husband must be hungry after swimming. He tends to get irritable when he's hungry.
So, can I ask you to pick up Emily too?
Huh?
So, I'm thinking of switching Ava's swimming lessons to weekdays. That way she can also do ballet and piano.
That sounds good. I tried to hold back my laughter as I listened to my husband's calm response.
I'm busy too. I need to go to the salon while Emily's at swimming. It's a waste of time otherwise. Your husband's free, right? How much would you charge for pickups and drop-offs?
No need for money. We'll pass. Let's go, Ava. It's time for dinner. Her face twisted with irritation at my husband's firm refusal.
You guys don't seem to have the means for dining out.
We can afford it. Don't judge our finances based on our job. My usually mild-mannered husband raised his voice. I could see he was getting upset. No, he is upset because he is hungry.
You know, drivers are usually loud and rough. It's the worst. Emily, wasn't it good to be in a different class from Ava?
Emily started crying after being patted on the head by her mom. She didn't cry because of my husband's voice, though.
Mommy, why did you say that? I wanted to be in the same class as Ava.
It's tough not being in the same class. I can't make that happen, but I can get Emily's dad to take a day off during the week.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Jack, right? He works part-time for us. Both Emily's mom and I were shocked by my husband's surprising statement.
Don't lie. I'm calling my husband now.
Panicking, she pulled out her smartphone and called her husband. Yes, he'll be arriving around 8 p.m. if the traffic isn't too bad. She repeatedly tapped her smartphone screen, her face turning red and blue. He's unreachable. He's instructed to turn off his phone while driving due to safety reasons. Her panic increased as she crouched down. She started doubting everything, insisting that her husband couldn't possibly have a commercial driver's license. If you don't believe me, you can come check with our company. Jack wanted to work here, so he made sure he got the license.
What do you mean by our company?
Here's my business card.
Is Ava's dad the CEO of that famous transport company?
Yes. My husband inherited the company from his father. That's where I was also working at their store. Shocked, she ripped the business card apart. She threatened to sue for defamation if it was a lie. By 8 p.m., the office of the transport company where my husband was CEO was in chaos. I had already moved Ava and Emily to another room and turned up the music to drown out the noise.
What's going on? Explain it to me.
I understand your frustration, but you should consider that your husband needed rest after a long drive. Please give him some space.
When did you know? You've been hiding this from me.
My wife didn't know until today. My wife dislikes hearing your name mentioned due to past conflicts.
That's awful. You didn't tell me. I didn't expect such hatred.
She started crying, covering her face. Anyone would be shocked to learn they're disliked. I signaled to my husband to stop. I felt sorry for her, but wanted to avoid further conflict. Such people need someone to be clear with them. Her crying increased rapidly, and her face was covered in tears and snot. Her makeup was gone, revealing her bare face. Emily's mom looked like a different person. If I were to speak up, I'd say, "You're disliked by everyone. Just the thought of going to our house makes me feel uncomfortable."
Why didn't you tell me you changed jobs?
I was laid off, so I had no choice. I consulted with Tom, the company president.
Why didn't you tell me about such an important matter?
If I had told you, you would have comforted me or tried to solve the problem. I think you'd have just gone crazy.
Then why consult with Natalia's husband?
Because he's Emily's friend's father. He showed concern during the entrance ceremony when I looked down.
You must be kidding. It's unbelievable to show weakness to this family.
It's your thought process that's unbelievable. I sighed at her baseless claim. If you continue to badmouth their family, I'll even consider divorce. Both my husband and I were taken aback, expressing our surprise at his firm stance. I was moved by his readiness to defend us.
I absolutely hate Mom, who speaks ill of Ava's family. If you continue, I'll be in Ava's family.
Emily, who had been listening to the adult conversation, held Ava's hand and tearfully pleaded.
Fine, I understand. It's the worst thing to be disliked by your child.
She promised not to speak ill of anyone at the office again, but it wasn't easy to change. Her husband seemed exhausted from dealing with her. She spread negative comments in her mom friends group chat and ended up isolated. Unable to endure it, she attempted to transfer Emily to a different school. Her husband left with Emily and started living in an apartment near my house under the pretext of a company housing arrangement. I won't return until my wife apologizes and changes her ways. Her isolation was complete. It serves her right. Meanwhile, I gave birth to a lovely baby boy. Ava has taken to being a big sister, and the bottle has passed from Ava's hand to Emily's. Despite being in different classes, Ava and Emily remained good friends. On swimming days, they would return home together and wait for me. Let's go to the swimming school. My husband was accommodating and even prioritized Emily's dad's preferred days off. Emily's dad seemed to have adjusted well to truck driving and was working towards a full-time position. I prepared snacks, and Ava and Emily enjoyed eating them happily. I decided to be clear about what I don't like and keep relationships with difficult people to a minimum. If I'm hurt, I'll try to forget it. People who speak ill of others are pitiful. Forgiving them helps keep my heart beautiful. I told myself this as I kneaded the cookie dough, feeling peaceful.